and welcome to Drive-In Double Feature Podcast. I'm Nathan,
I'm Ryan.
and this is the podcast where we talk about 2 movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. But before we get into this week's episode, I want to talk to you about our Patreon. If you head on over to patreon.com/Drive-In Double Feature Podcast, guess what? You get so much content. I'm talking conversations, I'm talking games, I'm talking about a bunch of stuff to listen to. So if you're a fan of this podcast, just for $5 a month, you get all that. And my thanks. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
But let's get into today's movie. We're back at it again with Saw. We're talking Saw 4 from 2007. It's another year. It's another Saw. I don't know when they started this tagline, but I remember at a certain point they said, it's Halloween, so it's Saw. Like that, right? Wasn't that the tagline? It was like, it's
Was it?
October, it's Saw. It was something like that. It was kind of like, hey, it's another year. It's October. You're getting another Saw. It was just that, prolific. They pumped these movies out. We have Darren Lynn Bousman returning, but it is his last time directing for a while. And, we got Tobin Bell back, and that's all you need. And he's playing younger. Yeah, and you can tell he's looking real young in this one, and dead. He's also dead for a little bit in this one because Saw 4 is all about its timeline. We'll get into that. This movie's timeline. This is when Saw goes insane for timelines and everything happening at one time or at different times. That's been the whole hook. So, Brian,
For
I know.
absolutely no reason.
Yeah, no,
Huh?
just for fun, just to screw with you. So, Ryan, I know you said, I forget if you quit at 3 or you quit at 4. You quit
Like,
here? Oh, you quit at
but
5.
if, yeah.
Okay, so you've seen this one before. You've already been through this.
That's correct.
Okay, this was my first I saw in the theater. I saw it in the theater. Uh, my dad took
I
me.
I don't even remember this movie coming out in theaters.
Really? I saw it the weekend it came out because I was excited. It was like I finally got this because I loved Saw, and I finally got to go see it and saw it in a very busy theater in this mall in Oklahoma. Tiny, tiny theater, but it was packed. And I remember liking it. I remember enjoying my time with it. And see, I've watched the first 3 a few times since then. Saw 4 here. I haven't watched in a long time, so long I forgot the twist. I did not remember the twist for this movie at all. Did you?
I remembered. I knew
Okay.
who what the who the new helper was
Oh,
gonna be or whatever.
okay. I knew who the new helper was, but I'm meaning more the timeline twist at the end
Oh,
of the movie.
oh, that, yeah, no, that I forgot. And then when I was like, oh yeah, now I remember this
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, no, it's Costas Mandalore, who was played a very tiny role in the last movie, now has a much larger role.
The
And
Mandalorian.
yeah, the Mandalorian himself, Detective Hoffman. Um, so this one has become it. We talked about this before, how these movies kind of work as cop movies as well. Now it's like full on just cop movie. Like maybe not fully, but there's a lot of cop in this movie. Um,
There's a lot of
because
cop outs. You're right.
There is a lot of cop outs, yes. So, well, okay, so the big thing with this movie, well, sorry, there's multiple stories to follow in this. I forgot how stacked this was, but I think what I would say is the main plot line is with Rigg, who is played by Lyric Bent. What a name. Who he charges in the door when they find Carrie. If you remember right, she was killed at the beginning of Saw 3, his fellow cop
Right.
partner. And he's been in these movies since Saw 2. He barges in the door, and Costas Mandalore, he's like, what? You can't just go into any door without checking? You can't do that. So guess what? That's going to be his Saw lesson. Not to go into any doors and to not do anything. Right?
What a lesson.
Isn't that like his lesson in this movie? It's like Jigsaw's
It's
like,
like, don't they,
yeah.
it was his lesson is basically don't do anything.
Yeah, yeah, it's
It's
like
like they've Jigsaw told him multiple times, like, don't do anything. Just if you ignore it, The problem will sort itself out. You don't need
Yeah.
to help everybody.
Yeah, that's the moral because his wife leaves him because he's like, you just try to save everyone. So Jigsaw is like, all right, I'm gonna take that and run with it. Yeah, and Jigsaw is supposedly dead at this point because the movie opens up with a dead body Jigsaw, which we'll get into in a second. Um, but yeah, Jigsaw is just like, just don't help him. He goes from person to person. He maybe sets up the trap for them, but at one point, which is the part with the man and wife, and the woman's abused, and she can pull out these poles, and it'll only hurt her, but it will kill her husband if she pulls out these like stakes that are stabbed between them. And yeah, he just is like, hey, I took you here so you can see this, and you can go. You just leave him alone. Don't help her. Do you see my vision? Really
That
odd.
one I didn't understand. That one I didn't understand. I'm like, because she pulled all that stuff out herself,
Yeah.
and so he was just like coming in to just like look at her and just be like, he just like gave her a coat and like it's like, all right, good luck. Like,
Yeah. He gives her the coat and it's like, all right, I'm out. Because didn't he ask her questions and she was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah, that part was really dumb. But I should say this movie opens up with a really egregious autopsy scene of Tobin Bell. I forgot how long this was, where like it's like an actual autopsy where they cut off his head, take out his brain, open up his body. It goes on for maybe like over 5 minutes. It's way too
yeah,
long.
like they're just peeling his face back.
Yeah. And I know it's like a gross out thing, but it just honestly isn't even that gross. It's just I found it annoying more than anything. Um,
And and then they open up his stomach and they find a cassette that he swallowed that was, I guess, covered in wax or something.
yeah, but did you see the size of that? Do you really think you could swallow a cassette covered in wax like that?
I mean, Nathan, he was about to die anyway of brain cancer. I mean, like he was about to like,
Well, so
who
you're saying
cares
he
if he choked?
like he was like
Who
shoving it down the best he could.
like lubricates his throat? Like he ate like a really oily meal.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, yeah. You just ate some like Taco Bell or something, which he also had to go to the bathroom for. Now there we go. That
Uh-oh.
would have been better if they pulled out his stomach and
Jigsaw,
it was full of poop. Oh no.
Jigs. Well, I mean, like Jigsaw
I-
just like shits himself.
yeah, he dies and there's just shit everywhere. There, you want to go for a gross out scene? They should have had them have the cleanup scene, having to clean up his bowel movement when he died.
Oh no. Oh,
It's so gross.
well, okay, so like the whole thing with that thing was like I was trying to piece it because Hoffman finds the cassette tape.
Hmm.
Well, the guy doing the autopsy does, the coroner,
Hmm.
and he's like, "Oh no, oh my God, like call the police." And so Hoffman shows up. He takes the cassette, he pops it in, and basically like Jigsaw's like, "Just because I'm dead doesn't mean the games are over." And that's where like the movie starts. I mean, huge spoiler though. That scene is technically the end of the movie. Like that's in the timeline of this film.
Yeah.
That's the end of the movie. So Hoffman grabs this cassette tape, but she supposedly does or doesn't know what's on there from
Hmm.
his mentor, and he's just like standing there like listening to it by himself. So it's like there was no reason for him to listen to that. Like us as an audience, it was for us getting to peer into what Jigsaw was saying, but
Hmm.
him as a character, he didn't need to know what Jigsaw was saying because he already knew that like that Jigsaw was going to do that.
Yeah, it has no importance to him except for I think the next movie. I think that's all it does is it sets up the next one because he's like, "Oh, no one's going untested. You will be tested, even though I'm dead." And I think that's literally because in the fifth one he's also getting tested. I think there's a twist in that one where he's being tested the whole time as well. Um, I don't know. It's odd though because all that, I mean, to be honest, that scene is there just to trick us. Like you're kind of saying in terms of the movie, how the plot works, that scene has no bearing on the plot whatsoever. None. Like there's
No.
no importance other than to trick us because the idea is that at the beginning of the movie, Jigsaw's dead. So we think that everything going on is after Jigsaw's death. And we don't know who's pulling the strings. It's kind of a mystery man kind of situation because we do get a trap with
Ben Stiller?
Ben Stiller. Is that who you think he
M-
looks like?
no, Mystery Men?
Oh, yeah, Smash Mouth, Hank
Smash
Azaria.
Mouth that just starts playing in this movie.
Yeah, I wish. No, Mystery Men would be a fun one to talk about. Um, but no, it's I'm trying to get his name. Uh, what was the name of the lawyer? Art. There we go. Art.
Yeah.
He's at the beginning of the movie and he's in a trap where one guy has his eyes sewn shut and then his mouth is sewn shut and there's like a chain in the middle and he has to get the key off the blind guy in order to get out. Do you think the blind person was at a real disadvantage in this trap?
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah, exactly. Where like the art, he gets vision. He can see everything. He just can't talk. He can't tell him the blind guy what's going on. But as we see at the end of the trap, he could just rip it open by opening his mouth. So I mean, like
Yeah,
he really had the upper hand in this in this trap. I actually feel bad for the other guy.
we could have easily just opened his mouth and just been like, "We're in a trap. Stop moving."
Stop moving. Let me get the key, and I'll get us both out of here. No, it's never going to be that easy. But Art gets dragged into this. He's like a part of his own game because now with Saw.
So
Oh,
what?
go ahead.
But what if he had died there? Like, was the blind guy gonna have to like run? Like, let's just say the blind guy won.
Yeah,
Like the blind guy like I gotta have to do like the test with like the like like
yeah.
hello like
How does the blind guy even win in that situation? Right? He doesn't know anything about what's going on. It,
no, he doesn't know what room he's in. He just wakes up and he's just blind and chained to something.
wait, yeah, because they don't even get a Jigsaw TV or even like a
Hmm,
audio. They just wake up in a room.
no.
What the hell? They messed that up really bad. That's just bad writing. That's terrible writing. It's not even that good of an idea. Come on. But yeah,
But yeah, like if the blind guy had won and then just like well the other guy was supposed to win and
yeah. Could you imagine? I don't know what you did. What we're gonna do here?
they were supposed to
That
all be his clients and they was supposed to be all connected, but
whoops. Yeah, no, the blind guy, he was like the fast food worker at McDonald's or something, and they all went to that specific McDonald's. So that was gonna be
yeah.
there was gonna be a connection no
Oh,
matter what. Yeah, exactly. But no, Art, yeah, he gets thrown into this. So he's because I the thing about the Saw movies now is once you survive a trap, you never just survive a trap. You become one of Jigsaw's like people. Like there's always more to it. You can't just keep on going, or you can't just live your life. So now he has to hold Donnie Wahlberg, who returns, and Costas Mandalore, Detective Hoffman, in this trap, this very convoluted trap where Donnie is on an ice block that's melting, and if it fully melts, this counterweight will electric shock Detective Hoffman. But as we find out later, Detective Hoffman is the new Jigsaw, and he won't be electrocuted at all. It's just all this elaborate setup. Um,
I the thing that drives me nuts about some of these movies is just like how precision based they are, and it's just like if one thing were to
yeah.
go wrong, it's just like, or it's just I hate it sometimes because it's like Jigsaw is so brilliant that he's already thought of like how people are going to react in certain situations.
Yeah.
Like like he's like Doctor Strange is like able to see like all these different
Hmm.
avenues and plan for each one of them. Like like the one I think of is like he hires Amanda as his assistant, and now Amanda's there, but he like basically like he knew that Amanda was going to be a terrible assistant like the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to so he had to so he had to hire Hoffman to be the new assistant instead. So it's
Uh-huh.
like, well, I already know I'm going to need a backup, so you got the job.
But as we learn, he doesn't even trust Detective Hoffman in the next movie because Detective Hoffman, which we'll talk about later. So once again, it's like he can't trust anyone, so he has to just test everyone out. And like you said, there's always precision here, especially at the end of the movie, because the end of the movie, Rigg barges in the door, and then Donnie Wahlberg has a gun, so Donnie Wahlberg is able to shoot him as he enters the door, and then it just ruins everything happening. But I do think it's funny that Art there pulls out a tape recorder. It's like you lost, right? What if he played the wrong tape? What if he ran like the you won tape instead and threw it out? I was like, good job, you didn't barge in the door, and then like everything's falling apart.
Well, I mean, like at that point, Art is already about to die, and why
Uh-huh.
would he just be like, I'm not gonna play this stupid tape. We're all dead anyway. Like,
Yeah. Or if he was like, hey, I'm pulling out a tape recorder. Okay, like instead he's like, oh, he pulls it out like a dang gun and he gets shot over it. People just act so rash in these movies, and I feel horrible for Donnie Wahlberg in these movies at this
I
point.
I thought so too. I'm like, this guy has just been like put through the ringer,
Hmm.
and I'm like, because at this point he's survived like two tests
Yeah.
by Jigsaw, where it's like he got out of the chain by like basically ripping off his like breaking his foot to where it was
Uh-huh.
like mangled, and then and then like Amanda like beats the crap out of him, and
Yeah. And now
and
he's
basically leaves him for dead. Now he's chained up and about to like be like to be hanged.
Yeah, yeah, and he's like, oh, you can tell he's been like almost kept in captivity, even though he has like a cast for his foot on his leg, which I think is a funny touch. He even tries to kill himself, but no, his plot line ends. His head gets smashed in by like two ice blocks, and one of the most brutal deaths in the whole series. And I'm just like, wow, what a horrible way to just end that plot line, just because it's just very depressing. He did nothing. He just lost everything.
But like, because he really didn't do much the last two movies, and I'm just like, why are they like bringing it? Like, why do they keep bringing him back? Like, they just needed a plot point for like for Rigg to go find,
Exactly, yeah, because
uh,
Rick wants to find everybody.
Matthews.
Yeah. And then we have a cop character, Eric Strom. He's FBI, and that's how we connect every trap to each other, because while Riggs going from place to place, he's following behind, trying to connect all the pieces as well. And that's how the end of the movie comes together. Um, which I will say, I think the Rig plot line is interesting because he just kind of walks around the city. He has free reign. Like he's like, okay, now you need to go to the hotel, and so he walks himself to the hotel, and he puts this dude in a trap where he has to stab his own eyes, and it's interesting. But they dropped that plot line. There's a maybe 30 minutes of this movie where like that's not even the focus anymore.
The one where the guy has to stab his own eyes. Wouldn't you done like if you had to do that option, wouldn't you just do both at the same time versus
Oh yeah. Yeah.
like let me do one at a time and just make this like as brutal as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Or
no, it's
just
like
or just like get stabbed in like one eye, like I'm not doing that again. Like
that hurts so bad. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you would just go, I'm gonna do it like this. Um, yeah, such a dumb option. Everyone just makes the dumbest choices. But no, you get to the end of the movie, and that's when you find out, oh, this movie takes place at the same time as Saw 3. Everything happens because, and the way they reveal it is all of a sudden they cut to our favorite Saw person, Jeff. It shows up
yeah.
and he's knocking the lights, and it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna follow up on his storyline. No, he is it is the ending of Saw 3 where he walks in on Jigsaw. And we find out that after all of that, after he slices Jigsaw's throat, um, Eric walks in and just shoots him. dead. So once they,
Yeah, he finds out his daughter has been kidnapped and probably going to be like left for dead somewhere, and then
yeah,
he just gets shot.
it's so it's like they were really desperate to just cut off all plot lines, right? All loose threads. We're just getting rid of those.
I guess, yeah, like they wanted Saw 5 to be almost like completely fresh.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're doing because they got rid of Donnie, and now Jeff's gone. So yeah, this is where we find out where Eric is the main person that is part of the trap for the next movie because he ends up getting everything closed on him and almost locked away by Hoffman because at the same time Hoffman is taking care of Rigg in a completely different room at this. I think it's the Gideon Meat Factory, which we haven't even talked about that. There's a lot to talk about, isn't there?
Oh my God.
Jigsaw,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
there's so much to this movie. I thought I was wrapping up. No, Jigsaw gets a whole backstory. We get to learn. Oh my God, this is one of my least favorite parts of these movies. I complain about these movies. I love them to death. But Jill Tuck, who is his ex-wife, one of the worst actresses ever in a movie. Like in these movies don't have good acting. They never do. Tobin Bell is like the
No.
one saving grace of these movies. She is so bad. I can't stand her in these movies. Which I guess when I looked into it, she was only put in these. She was, because remember she was in the third one. She had that was just considered a cameo, and she was dating somebody who was working on the movie, but they wanted to do more with her character, so they brought her back.
Oh, you were so good in Saw
Oh
3. They wanted
yeah.
to give you like, I'm like, you think though, like for like such a big role that is, it's like Jigsaw's wife, and it's like,
Mhm.
did you not get anybody better? Like there, nobody like
No.
there's like I understand that that's not like a incredibly huge part to the movie, but like story wise, it's a pretty big part.
Yeah.
And I was like, you could have easily have gotten somebody like that's at least like a good actress.
Yeah, could they just that's what's weird about these movies. Like I get the first, well no, the first one's low budget, but they got Carrie Ellis, right? That's like he
And
wasn't
Danny Glover.
and Danny Glover. These are people that are certainly not on the top of their career at that point, but they have
They could
notoriety.
have they could have easily have gotten somebody that's like a name that could at least like act decently.
Yeah, and
But
then this one is 10 times the budget. It's cost $10 million to make, and you can't tell me they can't get some good actors in here, just somebody better. But no, they pick like the bottom of the barrel, it feels like.
it's like this younger woman falls in love with this elderly man.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, and Tobin Bell, she works at that hospital, and Tobin Bell's like working on his like paperwork in his car. And then the one girl walks up to the car, which I think is the girl from she's in Saw 2, I believe, is one of the girls in the house that they're at.
Oh, right.
Yeah, crazy, right? And she's like, "Hey, honey, you want a good time?" And Tobin's like, "You're a good girl. Go home. Don't do this. You don't need to do this." But that's all. That whole storyline is to set up how Jigsaw started this whole thing because there's like this kind of drug addict guy that while robbing
Cecil.
Cecil, thank you, which is like the most like it's not a scary name at all. If Cecil, you're just born to be a not scary person. I'm sorry. Um, but
What about Cecil DeMille? He was pretty scary.
yeah, you're not wrong actually. But he accidentally slams a door and kills Jigsaw and Chiltuck's baby. Um, so he gets the first trap, which is a bunch of knives, and he has to press his face forward to hit a lever to get out of this trap, and he has to like these kitchen knives have to slice his face. This is probably the worst trap of the bunch in turn. And what I mean by that, most painful to watch. I don't really think there's many painful traps in this one, but something about the knives on his face, I was like, oh, that hurts.
I was thinking, I'm like, I was looking at it, I was like, I wonder if I could just slide my head like underneath like that last knife. Because I was thinking, I'm like, it's like I might be able to like, kind of
You
do like one of
gotta
those.
we gotta do a Patreon episode where we watch the guy I was talking about, where like he's like he goes through every Saw movie and he's like, this is how I would escape every Saw trap. This is what I would do. And yeah, and he goes through every one of them and he would explain like how he would get out of it or if it would be easy. Like if there was a way to cheat it, which is fun. Um, but yeah, that one I feel like it could, and then he gets out, but then he tries to kill Jigsaw and he ends up in a barbed wire trap because Jigsaw just steps out of the way. Because Jigsaw just knew. He's that smart. I
He
think,
knew that his chair was gonna fall apart.
yep. So smart. So smart, that guy. But yeah, the big movie reveal with the music is that the beginning of the movie was the end, and now all timelines should be together. And now we can move on to Saw 5 with a new Jigsaw, but it doesn't work that way. So Saw 4, you know what? I hate to say it, still have fun with this one. Don't I used to think this one was higher on my list. I do think it's better than 3, but I do think 1 and 2 are better. So it sits somewhere in the middle, and I feel like as we go through, this one will probably end up being on the weaker end. How are you feeling about it?
This is my least favorite so far.
Really, you liked it less than 3?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty dull for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just did not care because I mean this movie is a lot of flashbacks
Yeah, it
and
really is.
and I just I wasn't really buying like the whole like Rig storyline, like oh like I'm just so tormented. I gotta help everybody
Yeah, they don't do a good job of setting that up at all.
and like the Jigsaw trying to be like romantic with this one girl and
You weren't
the acting
convinced?
wasn't that no, I was not. But I don't know. I just thought for Jigsaw and everything, like I thought it was enough that it was like he's a cancer patient. He kind of feel like his life was robbed of him, and he's having to spend all this time in this hospital, and that's why he's taking it on these other people, where it's like they're wasting life, or like
Mm-hmm.
he's trying to basically instill in them that life is something very precious, and you need to actually treat it well. And it's like, okay, well now we got to make him even more tragic, and I think it's just extremely convoluted too. So just I know it's going to just get worse, but
Oh,
I
oh, with the convolutedness? Oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, Tobin Bell is still decent in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll give it that much. But overall, like I can't really say I liked it too much.
Dang. Well, yeah, if you're getting upset about the convolutedness, holy crap, this series gets even crazier. Um, no, I think overall I had fun with this one. And I am heavily biased because I just like the Saw movies. I think even though looking at it though, I can see more flaws here where the timeline is funky, it has way too many storylines going on. And it makes me interested in seeing how Saw 5 goes because I Saw 5 really focuses in on one timeline from what I remember. And I remember not liking it, but I wonder if I'll like it better this time. We'll see.
I know Saw 5 was the last one I watched, and I have to remember why I stopped watching.
I'm sure you'll watch it and be like, "Oh, that's why."
Yeah.
um, but you know what? I'm gonna give it a recommend. I'm doing it, but it sounded like it was a not recommend from
Wow.
you.
Yes, it is not. I would
Yeah.
not recommend this one. I like I said, so far the other three I liked better.
Yeah, but here's the problem when I say recommend, you might as well watch the other ones. There's no point in watching any Saw movie out of order. There really is
No,
none. Why would you
no,
do that?
just watch Spiral.
Oh,
Only Spiral.
from the book of Saw. You gotta say the full title.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Just
Ballerina
gotta
from the book of John Wick.
just gotta based on the novel Pushed by Sapphire.
Could you what made them they had to pay to do that or something? Like what was the reason?
I don't know what was going on with that.
Yeah, but
Uh,
anyway, moving on. Brian, what are we covering on Thursday?
Nathan, we're going back once again to Godzilla. We're going to be talking about Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, which is streaming on the Criterion channel right now.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to watch that one. And if you want to email us, be sure to email us at driveandoublefeaturepodcast@gmail.com. And be sure to check us out on YouTube, like, subscribe anywhere you are listening from. But until next time.
Until next time.